Welcome back to another edition of This Week in 3 Minutes. I've called this one Gas Pump Blues. Indeed. If any of you have to fill up your car, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We haven't seen gas prices like this since just before the last crash, which coincidentally, the big rise in oil and gas pump prices before that was just before the tech wreck. So I don't know if there's a connection there. Maybe. Let's not go there. What do we got going on in Europe? Oh, well, before we get to Europe, many of you probably noted that the gold price took a little bit of a tumble this week, but interestingly enough, it's holding at its key support line, which is a 2-year trend plus. So this is really interesting. In spite of a $20-something drop, by the way, predicated by $1.75 billion in gold futures contracts dumped in the span of 1 minute. I mean, we all know this crap is going on behind the scenes and who's doing it. But interestingly enough, the trend is our friend and it's holding, which means really we're no further back than we were last week just because we're still in this trend. You know, a lot of the time, myself included, and those of us in the gold community or advocates for gold, we tend to dwell on the doom and gloom and the negative, and it puts people off. People don't want to be, given negative news, in spite of the fact that may be real and the facts and the real threats. We want positive stories, positive spins, and so when you're talking about gold, probably, I listed a whole bunch of really half a dozen or so really good positive reasons to own it, but there's a couple that are real standouts in my mind, and that is the incredible lack of supply that's happening in the gold space right now. So the year that we produced the most gold annually was in 2016. And between 2017 and 2018, an enormous drop in the amount of gold being produced. And why is that? Well, there's a combination of factors, but largely it has to do with regulators getting in the way, slowing business down, lack of investment in exploration projects. I mean, we peaked in 2007 on exploration discoveries, and it has dramatically declined since then. So we're not discovering anything. It's taking way too long to get a producer online. And the demand isn't slowing down. In fact, it appears to be going up. So simple supply and demand says that one of the fundamental reasons to own gold is just that. The price will rise simply due to a lack of supply. Now, there's a number of other things. It's a form of insurance where you get to keep the premium. It's, the world's wealthiest own it. There's a bunch of positive things for gold. But for me, the biggest one, we're simply running out. The head of the World Gold Council just a few months ago said, I don't know where we're going to get the gold. So with all the insanity going on out there in the world and squabbles between Italy, the ECB, and Germany and all this, who knows what's going out there on the political side of things? That's nobody can predict those things, but what we can see clearly, the world is running out of gold, and those who get in now are going to be very happy when the price starts to reflect that. So on that note, have yourself a wonderful long weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Cheers for now.